playing with her at Leeds and things. She's such a mono when she's training. She's going to kill me, isn't she? I think it's probably going to be Hope's best
Leeds,
squad yet.
Lincoln, and most recently Doncaster Rovers Belles, has played 93 times for England, scoring 16 goals. It is, of course, Sue Smith. Hello, Sue. How are you?
Hello, Lee. I'm very well, thanks. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thank you. World Cup qualifying draw in the week. England have drawn in Group 6 against Ukraine, Belarus, Wales, Turkey, and Montenegro. I would imagine that Hope and the squad will be looking at that thinking it's a winnable group.
Yeah, without a doubt. I looked at it and thought that's a great group, and I know any sort of qualifying competition is going to be difficult. They will be playing the game like it's their cup final. I think when you go into a game as a favourite, sometimes that's quite difficult, and sometimes to actually motivate yourself. But you're playing for your country, so if the girls can't motivate themselves, then there's something wrong, and I'm sure Hope won't let that happen. But yeah, without a doubt, it's definitely a group that they can qualify from, and you would expect them to win every single game from that. A lot of tough, I suppose, going away to those countries might be quite tough and quite difficult, but there's no reason why we can't come out with a win and sort of go into the World Cup quite strong and quite easily.
Absolutely. I mean, I think
no pressure, girls.
Yeah, absolutely. If they're watching in, absolutely no pressure at all. Now we're all expecting, but I think that that's what we do particularly well in England. No matter what the sport, we're always expecting the absolute best. But I think you look at that group, and you have to say that the game that really stands out is the Wales game. I think that Wales have got a fantastic squad of players there. They've got players who are performing week in, week out here in the Women's Super League. Obviously, goes without saying, Jess Fishlock, Players Player of the Year last year, is nominated for a PFA Players Award this year, doing really well in America. If it's going to come unstuck anywhere for England, that could be the game, couldn't it?
Without a doubt. And I think, we haven't played, I don't even think I've actually ever played against Wales. So it'll be a really interesting game. It'll be one, like you say, that could be the one that could be a bit of an iffy one, if you like. We play Scotland most years in the Cyprus Cup, and that's always the most difficult game. And that's just because it's like a cup final. It's the rivalry. It's nice rivalry, but it is always very competitive. And like you mentioned, Jess Fishlock, she had a fantastic season last year. She's obviously going over to America now and going to prove herself over there. And like you mentioned, there's a lot of players in Bristol that are playing in the Super League. They're playing week in, week out, and doing a fantastic job. So they'll know how a lot of the England players play, and they'll know that they'll work on how they can potentially beat England. But it'll be a great game to watch, and I think something that hopefully we'll draw in a really big crowd for that.
Absolutely, and we've got Jess joining us from Seattle in the next couple of weeks, so we'll be keen to get her view on how she thinks that Wales can go about beating England in that World Cup. Looking ahead to the rest of the international season, it's the Euros in the summer. Hope obviously yet to announce that squad and who will travel to Sweden. But again, as an international player who's been there and done it at the highest level, the players must be looking ahead already to the summer, thinking, I can't wait to get on the plane to Sweden.
Yeah, without a doubt. I think they'll be glad that the season's now started and they can start playing in their league games, and they can start, I suppose, you can do as much fitness as you want, you can do as much pre-season, but to actually play games, that's where you get your match fitness and your match sharpness. And you can see just through a few of the games, I was watching sort of Everton-Liverpool, the first game, and, the likes of Tony Duggan, for me, stood out. I thought so far, she's been excellent for England, she's been excellent for Everton, and, she must be pushing for a place there. And you're seeing a lot of the youngsters now coming through, and I think it's probably going to be Hope's best squad yet. The fact that the competition for places, I couldn't pick, the players. So I think she'll have a really difficult time, and that just shows how far England have come. And you watch the Olympics. Obviously that was GB, but the way that they performed there, the way that they played against some of the best nations in the world, and actually played fantastically well. The Brazil game obviously stands out massively. They take that forward, and to like I say, play in the Euros, and it's a dream. It's I absolutely love the last Euros that I played in.
So first of all, best trainer. Who's the best player in training you've ever seen?
Do you know? I'd probably have to say Leandra Little now at Doncaster. She's one of those. You know, we have two twin tanks. Obviously, we mentioned before Millie Brighton and Jess as well, Sigsworth. But Lee's probably the trio of the tanks. You know, she's got that, you know, that teacher authority. John's scared of her. Most of the girls are scared of her. But she trains as she plays, which is exactly what you want. So I'd probably have to say her at the minute.
Excellent. Worst trainer. Who when it comes to training is, yeah, it's a hard one, but come on, there must be someone.
Oh, that's really difficult. Worst trainer. Oh no. See, there's a massive pause here.
Yeah. There's someone there. There's someone.
I'm trying to think back now. Probably, she's going to kill me now, but probably Sophie Walton from Leeds, you know, playing with her at Leeds and things. She's such a moaner when she's training. She's going to kill me, isn't she? But obviously, fantastic player on the pitch, you know, and she turns it on. But when we're training, if we're doing something a little bit hard, she'll have a little moan. So hopefully she's not watching this.
Waltz, if you're watching, we want to hear from you. What's Sue like?
I'll be dead when we play Lincoln.
What is Sue like in training? So, what about worst dress sense?
Oh my word, this is getting even worse. Can I pick a manager?
Of course you can.
It's got to be John Buckley. Hilarious. His dress sense, I think either his wife dresses him or he borrows his son's clothes half the time. They're either too big for him, they're too small for him. He has the worst trainers in the world. We're actually going to buy him some trainers next year. We're all going to put some money together with our fines and buy him some trainers.
Decent pair of kicks. Right,
definitely.
This is a nice one then. Most intelligent player.
Oh, do you know, I'd have to pick Karen Bardsley. When we used to do sort of quizzes at England, I always wanted her on my team because she's got a vast array of knowledge of totally random things, but she must have a really, really good memory because that girl knows everything. So yeah, if there's ever a quiz, get on KB's team.
Get on KB's team. Most skillful player?
I'd probably have to say Kelly Smith. You know, I think the way she can, you know, get past the player, she's done it week in, week out. She's done it for probably 20 years, you know, at a top level. I'd probably have to say her.
Yeah, I think hard to disagree with Kelly Smith. I mean, what she's done in English football. It's a shame that she again has found herself injured at the start of the season.
Yeah.
And undoubtedly Arsenal.
It's our age, Lee.
It's an age thing, is it?
It must be. It must be. My heroes, Ryan Giggs and David Beckham, keep looking towards them and thinking they're still going strong. So there's no reason why we can't get back.
Oh, you can't get absolutely. And then very finally, who's always late for the team bus?
Oh, it's got to be Tori for Donny. She's crazy. She's just one of them she'll be like, what time is it again? You know, when sort of John's just told us all the time. So I think Tori, she's definitely probably the one with the most fines at the minute for being late.
Always late, right? So who've you upset there? You've upset Tori Williams. You've upset Sophie Walton.
Yeah.
Who else have we upset?
John,
the
manager. So maybe I won't play. Yeah.
John's wife as well. You've upset John's wife because she dresses him.
That's true.
So, yeah,
that's true. No, actually, John looks very well presented when his wife dresses him. It's just when he dresses himself.
I think you've dug out that hole beautifully, and we'll catch up with you later on in the season, no doubt.
That's brilliant. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Sue.